It's happening again after Masai Ujiri made multiple moves yesterday. The trade rumors are starting to escalate as Cam Johnson is once again linked to this Raptors squad, and the big name that's been discussed this offseason, Bruce Brown. Suitors have been revealed in a new team, specifically the rehashing of the Andrew Wiggins trade talks, especially with the Lauri Markkanen trade sweepstakes fizzling out. So we're going to dive into all of the latest reports regarding this Toronto Raptors team, whether or not it's actually likely one of these deals actually goes down at this point, because again, we've heard months of rumors regarding Bruce Brown, different players out there on the market that the Raptors could target, and now there is more flexibility for this team after waiving Sasha Vezenkov as well as JFL. So we're going to dive into it all in this video. But before we do, folks, again, if you're part of the 49% that hasn't hit the subscribe button just yet, make sure you hit that sub button so you don't miss a single video as we continue to cover all the latest Toronto Raptors as well as Team Canada news over the course of this off season. But let's dive into what's been going on, because Brett Siegel dropped a lot of information, a lot of updates regarding this Toronto Raptors team, and have some people intrigued. So essentially, we'll start off with the Cam Johnson report. So in addition to the Kings inquiring about Johnson, the Rockets, the Lakers, the Cavs, as well as the San Antonio Spurs have all been linked to the former first-round pick. Mike Scotto of Hoopsite has also reported that the Toronto Raptors have shown interest in Johnson. If they look for a more affordable option, Finney Smith would also be a plausible target for the Houston Rockets and Ime Udoka. So again, this isn't a crazy linking, but I know I've seen the photoshops, the tweets, the stuff that's going on with Cam Johnson, with basically the reports that have just come out, getting rehashed. I don't think there's any significant developments on Cam Johnson coming to the Toronto Raptors, and I just want to state my opinion kind of early on. I don't think Masai Ujiri makes this trade. We have a lot of guys. Yes, Cam Johnson's a little bit taller. We take a look at his stats to add some extra context, right? 13.4 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He's 6'8", 28 years old, shoots 46% on corner threes, and close to 40% from behind the three-point line in general. He is a solid, strong 3-and-D player. He's 6'8", so again, can play the small forward position. You can push him to the power forward if you get dramatic, but more of a 2 and 3 out there in the NBA. But Cam Johnson, yes, he will be cool positional-wise, play style-wise. Does make sense to build around Scottie Barnes, Immanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett-led team. But I don't think, given his contract, given, the high price that would probably come with the Brooklyn Nets trying to get assets, they're in a similar boat to us. I don't think Cam Johnson is a realistic possibility, despite these reports getting linked in the Cam Johnson trade rumors starting to pick up once again. But obviously, the name that I do think is more likely to get dealt and involved in actual trade talks is Bruce Brown. Now, Bruce Brown has been involved with this Toronto Raptors team. He's been in the city. The Raptors picked up the team option on his $23 million deal, but he's been ingrained in Toronto Raptors organization and team this entire summer. So while there was months and there were reports saying that this deal was imminent, this doesn't seem like it's still the case, but I do believe, and Woj just come out and directly said that he is a very valuable asset out there on the open market. And frankly, if the Raptors do have, he doesn't really fit the timeline and positioning and all that stuff with this Raptors team right now. We have a lot of young guys that are going to be commanding minutes. Bruce Brown is a player that, if the right deal comes along, a deal will likely happen. And this is where the new Warriors reports have essentially come into play. So essentially what's come out now is, speaking of the Raptors, they continue to explore the market for interest in veteran swingman Bruce Brown, who's entering the final year of his contract at $23 million. Bruce Brown is highly regarded around the NBA for his positional versatility as well as his ability to make winning plays that don't always show up in the stats. The 27-year-old has held a big role during the Denver Nuggets championship run in 2023, and his expiring contract will be appealing to several playoff contending franchises. So nothing crazy novel there. We knew the Toronto Raptors were linked, were discussing these different offers, but this is where we get some more information in terms of potential acquisitions. Essentially, the Lakers and Milwaukee Bucks are two teams that showed interest in Bruce Brown last season, and the Lakers maintain interest in him this offseason. One team that is whispered to have interest in Bruce Brown was quietly mentioned as a possible suitor months ago was the Golden State Warriors. While unlikely to occur, the Golden State Warriors have the ability to move Andrew Wiggins, who's making more than $26 million this season, in a package for Toronto that includes Bruce Brown and other assets. This will open up more financial flexibility for the Dubs moving forward. So again, the report goes on to say that rival executives are of the belief the Warriors have backup plans if their pursuit of Lauri Markkanen fizzles out. Assuming the Warriors are unable to land Markkanen this summer, they will very likely evaluate options for immediate upgrades ahead of this year's trade deadline. So this is what I find interesting. Again, the specifics, Brett Siegel, is talking about a Wiggins for Andrea for Bruce Brown kind of swap there, assets being attached on either side. So Andrew Wiggins has multiple years at a high dollar amount left on his contract. Bruce Brown is on an expiring deal. This is a money move for the Golden State Warriors to get off of Wiggins' contract, who he himself didn't have the greatest of seasons last year. Felt like the fit was kind of fizzling out there for the Golden State Warriors. So Bruce Brown coming in, which is still a player that wouldn't be a huge knockdown, at least positionally skilled, talent-wise. Andrew Wiggins Bruce Brown could kind of replace him in a different position, especially with Clay gone there at this point, right? And just do his thing, especially where they have Kuminga and Kuminga as well as Draymond Green. They're at the 3-4 positions. Right, Bruce Brown's more of a natural fit at that shooting guard spot, whether he's starting or coming off the bench for this team. Just makes sense as a kind of a positional fit. But given Bruce Brown's contract, the flexibility he gives the Golden State Warriors, who are a team that's brushing up on the hard cap, if they don't make a ton of moves, don't make some adjustments to their payroll, right? There's some serious value monetarily, and the Raptors were able to finesse this already with the Sacramento Kings, to get some assets back in one of these deals. And this is where we could potentially swoop in a potential package, because Bruce Brown, as we know, is a good basketball player, 11 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, all that good stuff. We brought up his stats a ton this season, but if we were to get Wiggins, who's a negative contract right now in terms of his actual, what he's getting paid, and then they attached a guy like Moses Moody, who's only 22 years old, 6'6", a solid 3-point shooter, a guy that Warriors fans are extremely high on. They attach him, or if they don't attach Moody, some first-round draft capital, then that's a deal that I think the Raptors would be very interested in. And again, there's been chatter, there's been discussions about one of these deals potentially going down, but the Raptors have just been asking for too many assets for the Golden State Warriors' taste, according to those local beat reporters for the Golden State Warriors. But bringing in Andrew Wiggins positionally would make sense, as we kind of need another one of those bigger wings, especially with Sasha Vezenkov on his way out. Now, maybe Christian Koloko, as I predict, if one of these trades don't happen, could be the guy sliding in at that big man position. But Andrew Wiggins being a player to come in, he's a Canadian. I know people don't like, let's sign all the Canadians and stuff like that. But he was a guy that was the second best player on a championship team. Not career-wise, but during that playoff run, he was the second best guy in a championship run. There's no debating that. He was that at one point. Now, there's been some personal stuff, some different things, and if this trade were to go down, it's maybe could rehab his value. The Raptors are willing to take on different sort of contracts because we're probably not in win now, at least for one more season. So you take a flyer on Andrew Wiggins, you get some additional assets, whether it be draft capital or young prospects. You see what's working out for this team, and then Andrew Wiggins will become an expiring contract in the future, and then you have the same leverage as you have with a Bruce Brown, or he works out, things look great, and you have a nice 3-and-D player to add to this core group of Toronto Raptors guys. Something I'm intrigued by, I've discussed about. Again, it's a risk because there's a long-term money on Andrew Wiggins' deal and affects your flexibility for the future. But if they attach assets to that contract, then it's it might be a win-win for both sides in a potential package. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about one of these trades actually going down. You guys must make as far as subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I'm signing out. Cheers.